Hello, my name is Sally Pinto, and I'm the Program Director for the Yonkers NORC, Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We are under the auspices of WJCS and the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We also have a resource specialist and a nurse on staff. We conduct virtual programming in partnership with the Yonkers Public Library on a daily basis. Enjoy the program.
Alexis, good morning, everyone. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. As usual, we're going to be seated or standing. We're just making sure we're nice and elongated through that spine. Good posture and roll the shoulders back. We're going to start with our chin tucks for 10. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now our head turns. We're going to do 5 per side, always coming back to the center. Here we go. We're going to turn, look over one shoulder, come back to center. That's 1. Other side. 2, 3, still nice and tall. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right, we're going to go into our warm-up. Continuing down the body here, we're going to start with, I do have a preference for the seated cat-cow, but you can do these standing if you'd like. You're just going to put your hands on your thighs, standing, kind of like bent over right here, arching and tucking. I feel like taking the balance out of it by being seated, I get a deeper stretch, okay? So we're just gonna put the clock on now for 30 seconds. Here we go. Hands on the thighs above the knees. We're just going to arch and tuck the chin around the back, and then exhale, untuck and look up, okay? Chest, heart towards the ceiling, all right? Just think about really trying to mobilize your spine, all right? It's morning time. We've been laying in bed in one position, or maybe 2 or so, you know, but we haven't been moving much. So let's just wake up the spine, get that spinal cord fluid moving. Arch and tuck. All right, our next exercise is our lateral side bend. So we're gonna side bend reach. Standing or seated is fine. Side bend reach, okay? Now we're waking up the sides of the body, reaching over. I'm going up and over, right? Reach, feel the stretch. Next, we're going to go into a rotation with this. So right now we're just laterally bending just to the sides. Next, we're going to rotate. All right, here we go. So we're going to rotate, seated or standing. So now we're twisting the spine, gently waking up the body in this direction here. Good, really feel that twist. I'm giving a nice exhale as I twist. Twist. Getting that blood flow to all the muscles. All right, next, seated or standing, we're going to do our straight arm push back, okay? You can stand it up here if you'd like, or you can stay seated. Stand. Total body movement here, feeling a little stretch of the front of the shoulders, warming up the hamstrings and the quadriceps, as well as getting the heart pumping here a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Okay, next one here, we're going to do our cherry pickers, our 4 count. So it's out, middle, in, up. Okay, out, middle, in, up. You can do this seated too. Middle, in, up. Feel the back of the hamstrings really starting to stretch out here now. Also getting that the hip flexors warmed up here from the bending and extending. We have one more move after that, and this is our alternating knee lift. So either seated or standing. We're bringing that knee up, I'm pulling those elbows down towards it. All right, remain standing here. I'm just going to go ahead and demo seated. I'm on the edge of my seat. Nice exhale as you bring it together. 5 more seconds here, and then we're going to move into our strength work. And time. Okay, go ahead and get a drink. Today, we're going to do 4 blocks. We're going to do 6-minute blocks of supersets, 2 exercises back and back for 3 rounds. And then we're going to go into a 9-minute block of 3 exercises, 3 rounds through. It's going to be 6-minute, 9-minute, 6-minute, 9-minute. Okay. Now, remember that time is always just a guideline. You listen to your body. If you need to start late or stop early or take a little break in between, do that. Get a drink of water. Our first exercise is we're still working on our hinged to knee raise. So remember, this is where we're crossing the hands over the body. My feet are underneath my hips or right inside my shoulders, okay? And we're gonna hinge. Remember, hinge means you're pushing the glutes back and you're forward folding over, okay? I'm rounding over, but my spine stays nice and straight through here, okay? Keep that length in the body. Then we're gonna squeeze the glutes to lift up. And then we're gonna go ahead and come to one knee and twist, okay? All right, so nice and controlled. It's not about doing this fast. We're trying to do it slow so that we really feel ourselves having to work that balance, right? Staying on one leg and adding that rotation. Now, remember that seated variation. I'm on the edge of my seat. Okay, you can have your legs a little wider if you need to here. We're gonna hinge, right? I'm still nice and long through my spine here. Come up and then twist, okay? So you're twisting over that leg that's lifted, okay? All right, our second exercise is our lateral 3-step to hold. So if you're seated, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, hold, okay? If we're standing, we're gonna add that lateral. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, hold. Okay, so again, 2 balance ones back to back here, okay? Try to get that opposite hand-foot pattern moving, okay? So if this knee is lifted, the opposite arm is lifted, okay? All right, so this is 45 seconds of work. We're gonna start with our good morning to knee raise oblique twist. I'm going to do the first round seated as always, okay? So if you wanna go right to standing, that's fine. All right, here we go. Nice and long through the spine. Remember, we're hinging through the hips forward, okay? In 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna hinge, squeeze the glutes to come up, exhale and twist. Hinge, good length through the spine. We're not rounding through our upper back. We're trying to keep everything one nice long line here. Using the glutes to think of the glutes as lifting you back up to standing or upright seated. Good, we have 10 more seconds here. And time, okay. The next one is our lateral 3-step to hold. All right, I'll be in the seated position for round 1. In 5, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, hold. 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 So from this seated position, you should feel that work. You're working your hip flexors, your core. Whoops, did I mess that one up? See, talking and your cognitive health. See that? Sometimes. Hold. We need to focus. Hold. Hold. 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, and release. Okay. So I'm going to go move to standing. If seated is better positioning for you, please remain seated. We're going back to our first exercise. I'm going to show that side profile so you see what my back looks like here as we're doing it and how my hips go back. Okay. Here we go. We're going to Push the hips back. Squeeze the glutes to stand up. Exhale and twist. It's okay. Sometimes you might find your balance is a little off there. If you need to, you can even just gently put a finger or hand on the side of your chair just for a little extra stability. Okay. Listen to the feedback your body gives you. Okay. Those little receptors in the ankles, right? Your core having to brace so that you can maintain that hold and twist on one foot. And we're not trying to race through it. We're just taking it nice and controlled. We're mindful. And time. Okay. Lateral 3-step and hold. Okay. So still working on that balance on that single leg. We're going to start in 5, 3, 2, and 1. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Hold. You go at your own pace. If my pace is too quick, slow it down. If my pace is too slow, speed it up. Good. 10 more seconds. And then we have one more round. All right, time. Last round of our hinge to oblique knee twist, seated or standing. Okay. Get a drink if you need it. All right. I'm crossing my hands over the chest unless you need to hold, like, gently hold on to the side of your chair here. Feet are under hips. We're going to squeeze the glutes to come up. Exhale and twist. Squeeze the glutes, make that mind muscle connection. When we do this hinge, we're working the back side of our body. Okay, we're working our hamstrings, our glutes. So we want to talk to those muscle groups. We want to tell them to activate. Squeezing, and then as I come up onto one leg, my core engagement really becomes essential here. Working core, obliques. 2, and time. Okay, all done with those. Our last round of our lateral 3-step to hold, seated or standing. Okay. Just when you're seated, the lateral component goes away, but you know what I mean. Okay, here we go. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And it's okay. Sometimes you're going to lose your balance. It's okay. That happens to everybody, here and there. And like I said before in other classes, a good rule of thumb is 3 strikes. Then you probably need to modify or take a little rest. So if it happens 3 times in a row, that's an indicator that your body's fatigued and a little bit of rest is probably needed or a modification. 1 or 2 times, well, that happens. That's very normal. Happens to all of us. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. There is our first superset block. That's our first 6-minute block. Go ahead and get a drink to recover. All right. A lot of core work in that block, coordination. All right, working the front and the back of the body. Our next block is 9 minutes long, still 45, 15. We have our alternating lunges. So the seated variation is, I'm on the edge of my chair, and you guys know I love this one, okay? It's challenging. All right, we're gonna lift it up, press through the heel of foot, bring it back. Other side, up, press, bring it back. I am just leaned over ever so slightly. You're going to feel your core engaged because you have that little gentle lean. And you have to use your mind to create that resistance, okay? Like you're pushing something heavy away. You gotta connect your mind for that one. Now your alternating lunge, my imaginary chair, I'll move it when I get to the standing round for myself here. Remember, we're holding the lunge or holding the back of the chair if you need it. Okay, and we're coming back. Okay. So remember, we want to keep that front foot, that heel needs to stay in contact to the floor. So you're going to make your adjustments if you are not, if that heel's popping up off the floor, you're going to need to make some adjustments. And also remember to have space from left to right side. You don't want to come one foot right behind the other and like challenge your balance too much. Make sure there's space. Okay, so see that, the distance between. Okay, and we're going to alternate. And remember, that other thing I like is 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're feeling like the coordination of the lunge is challenging, break it up. It's a 4-step movement, right? So it would be back, 1, down, 2, up, 3, return, 4. And then the other leg, okay? All right, and then our second movement is our goalpost fly with external rotation. Let's do these body weight today. Really good move for the posture and the shoulder joint here. Nice and elongated through the spine, seated or standing for this one, okay? We're gonna come into a 90-degree bend at the elbows. We're gonna pull back, okay? I'm using my back muscles. And we're gonna bring our palms down, up, return, back, down, up, return, okay? So we're working back here when we pull back, okay? So I want you to think about that, okay? Squeeze to bring it back, okay? Then we're getting this nice external rotation through the shoulder, okay? Our third exercise is a half bicep curl to a no money drill. All right, so we're gonna take our weights, or just body weight here. We're gonna come up halfway, right here. I'm not coming all the way up to my shoulders, I'm coming up halfway. Then I'm gonna pull it out. This is called no money right here, because the gist of it is it looks like this, like I don't have any money, right? That's where it comes from. So half bicep curl, externally rotate. So now we're externally rotating in 2 moves, one from a lateral and one from a horizontal position with these 2 exercises back to back. Okay? All right, so a little bit of work and therapy for the shoulders here today. All right, so, and that looks the same seated or standing. So that was a big break there, explanation. So we're gonna get started. Remember, our first one is our alternating lunge. I'm gonna do the first round seated. So that's my alternating leg press. Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1 for the seated leg press. I'm just gently leaning back to engage my abdominal muscles. And then I'm creating that resistance. I'm pushing through my heel and I'm pretending I'm pushing something heavy away, right? As I lengthen the leg, I'm gonna feel my quadricep and my glute engage. And your core is working the whole time here. This is a challenging exercise. And if lunges still feel like quite a tackle to you, stay here. Maybe one, but you're like almost there. Maybe 1 round of lunges in the middle and 2 rounds of this on the front and the back end. Okay, so tailored. Okay, time. Next, we're going into our goalpost fly to external rotation. Okay, so that's this one. And 5. Get in a position here. 2 and 1. We're going to pull back. Palms down, palms up, return. Nice and tall through that posture. If you're standing, make sure you're squeezing your glute muscles because that's going to take any pressure off your lower back. Working the back of the shoulder. We're getting a nice stretch through the front of the shoulder too. And we're working those internal and external rotators. Okay. Those little tiny supporting muscle groups within the shoulder. Almost there. We have about 5 seconds here. And time. Okay, shake it out. All right, by round 3, you're probably really going to start to feel that. So our next one, grab your weights if you're using them, or otherwise just use imaginary weights. Okay, half bicep curl to our no money drill. So now we're working the external rotators from the horizontal position. So here we go. We're going to half curl, out, in, down. We're trying to keep the elbows really tight to the rib cage. Okay, so up, keep them tight to the rib cage as we come out. Right, feel this little stretch in the front of the shoulder, little tightening in the back of the shoulder. Up. And down. Half bicep. Out, in, down. Good. Almost through this first block, and we have 2 more rounds. We got 3, 2, and time. Okay. Now you can remain seated for your seated leg press if that's good for you and that's what you're already doing, or if you're already standing and you want to do your lunges, continue to do your lunges standing, I'm going to join you. All right. So I'm holding onto the back of my chair. You can even just put a finger there. Some of you might be at that point where you just need a little bit of help. Okay. So you go out, down, drive up to the heel, return, out, up, return. So remember, it's about quality over quantity. If you tire and you just need to like shake your legs out for a second, that's okay. We want good, clean repetitions so that our body learns the movement pattern correctly over just trying to get a whole bunch of them in and be like, all right, I got, 10 reps in or something like that. Like take it to 8 and do them right versus just trying to do them quick. Two and 1. Okay, good. Back to our goal post fly, working the back, all right, the upper back and the rear delts, the back of the shoulder with that internal and external rotation. Here we go. I'm squeezing my glutes so my core is tight. I'm kind of tucking my pelvis here. Out, down, up, in. Make sure to just breathe naturally through this, however it feels, intuitive here with your breathing, okay? Just whatever feels right for these. Just feel that tension in the back. You're squeezing when you pull back, okay? You're pulling back through the elbows here, squeeze. All right, back of shoulders, upper back. Just feel a nice stretch through the front of the shoulders. Promoting healthy posture and healthy shoulders. Time, okay? Shake that out. Starting to feel that round 2. We're going to go into our half bicep curl to no money drill next, okay? So if you're seated, these are the same seated or standing. If you're standing, just remember to squeeze your glutes so that your lower back doesn't start to arch and give you some discomfort. Up, out, in, down. Those elbows stay nice and close to the rib cage. Still working on shoulder health while adding a bicep curl to it. Shoulder health and posture, right? Shoulder health and posture. Who doesn't want those things? I know I do. Those ball and socket joints, the shoulders and the hips, they're tricky because the way they move in like a 360-degree range. So that's why we add these little internal and external rotations to strengthen all those tiny little supporting muscles that help us make those movement patterns. Okay, back to the top for the final time. This is our last round of lunges or alternating seated leg press, okay? In 3, 2, and 1, we're gonna go back, down, drive it up, 1, back, down, drive it up, 2. I'm not going to keep on counting it out because I want you to go at a pace that's comfortable for you, and that may be different than mine. Everybody's body is different. Just really keep that front heel connected to the floor as you press up to help activate the glute. And the entire leg here and the glute. We're almost there. We have 5 seconds. 2 and time. Okay, shake those out. Last round of our goal post to external rotation. This one's body weight, seated or standing. If you're standing, just again, tuck and squeeze the glutes, okay? Your pelvic tuck here. Let's get ready and pull back. Come down, bring it up, in, back, down, up, in, back, down, up, in, squeeze back, down, up, in, working through your own specific range of motion. Remember, these times are just our guides, okay? You can start or stop early. And remember, know the difference between that exercise discomfort and that acute pain, okay? If you feel acute pain, we need to stop, okay? Here we go, or modify, okay? You can always turn that exercise into something else that works better for your body. All right, our half bicep curl to our no money drill for the last time. You're standing, tucking the pelvis, here we go. Half, out, in, down. All right, elbows are close to the rib cage. We're going to take a break after this and move on to another superset, which is going to be a 6-minute block because it's just 2 exercises. Almost there. 2 and time. Okay, get a drink, guys. Get a drink. I'm going to explain our next one. All right, we have our bend over row for 3 to our stand. Okay, our RDL or our hinge pattern. Okay, so that is from a seated position. You're going to take your dumbbells. All right, you could even, if you have like a long band and you want to step your feet on the band and use your band to row, you can. All right, just remember when we're hinging down, and you may need to open your feet slightly, okay, to fold forward from a seated position, okay? Just remember, keep that length, okay? You don't want rounding through your upper back here, okay? You want to keep those shoulders pulled back and keep that length in the body and really just hinge through the hips. Think of that suitcase opening and closing, okay? So we're going to hinge down, row, 2, 3, squeeze the glutes to come up, okay? So just like our good morning, the first one we did, the hinge with the oblique twist. All right, so here it is from the standing position. Those hips are going to push back. My knees are not locked out. There's a slight mild bend and I'm just not locked out like this, okay? All right, that's too much stress on the knees. We're gonna row, 2, 3, squeeze up, back down, okay? So it's 3 rows and up, okay? Elbows stay close to the body. We're working on our lats, the larger muscle groups in the upper body. And we are also doing our, a new one here, okay? So sit to stand with a single leg balance. Now your seated variation is going to be different because it's hard to recreate that movement here. So we are going back to seated leg press. All right, get that hard one in. Or you could even just do if it's starting to feel like too much, you could just bring us up with these knee raises. Okay. Otherwise, we're going back to our alternating seated leg press for our seated variation. Now, new movement for the standing is our sit squat. We're going to stand it up, knee raise, down, sit down, stand, knee raise. Okay, so again, adding more movement, but then trying to challenge ourselves to that single leg balance again. Okay, so a lot of core work today. All right, so let's go ahead and get started for our superset here. We're starting with our 3 bent over rows to our hinge pattern here. Okay, so if you're using your weights, grab your weights. Let's get ready and begin. Nice and lengthened as we hinge forward. 1, 2, 3, squeeze the glutes up. Good. Again, at your pace too. Make that mind muscle connection to your back muscles. If your back muscles are a little bit on the weak side, you might be like, what do you mean mind muscle connection? I don't really feel it through my back. I feel it in my arms. It's okay. It takes time to create the mind muscle connection. It's just a matter of, you've got to think about those muscle groups. Try to tell those muscles to squeeze, okay? The back muscles to squeeze, all right? It takes time to strengthen them. The stronger they are, the easier it is to feel it. Does that make sense? So you really have to like kind of build that muscle first before it becomes very apparent that you're doing it. All right, so now we have our sit squat to single leg balance. But since I'm doing the seated variations, I'm going to start with my alternating leg press here for round 1. All right, so back to what we did for the lunge modification press. So I'm gently leaned back. That's keeping my core engaged as I push something heavy away. Push through the heel. It really helps me feel the glute and the quad by making that imaginary force there. Remember, if this becomes too much and you just want to take it to a knee raise right here, that's another option. Five more seconds. And then we're back to the tops. This is our 6-minute superset, okay? So going back to our 3 bent over rows to hinge, okay? I'm gonna move to standing for this round. All right, so my feet are underneath my hips. Here we go. Again, we're gonna push our hips back, row. 2, 3, squeeze the glutes up, back down. Good, so it's 3 rows and then up. Up, so when we're rowing, we're thinking of our back. Engage. One more time. Now the glutes as we come up, okay? So you switch that thought pattern depending on what movement pattern you're doing, right? When you're down rowing, you're thinking of your back. When you're standing up, you're thinking of your glutes. And time, okay? You might feel your heart rate elevate on those. All right, our sit to stand with that single leg balance, okay? You can start seated or standing, it doesn't matter here, okay? Ready? And again, we're gonna sit it down, up, okay, down. Push your heels into the floor as you're standing up. Get that glute, so you squeeze the glutes. And then you squeeze the glute, you'll find it's already ready to go on one leg then, right? Because your glute's already engaged. Remember, it's okay if you wiggle and wobble a little bit. That's your body's feedback. That's saying, oh, I need to do this to stay on that one leg. Okay, just remember that 3 strikes you're out rule just means you're probably a little fatigued. Okay, if it just keeps on happening after the 3rd time. And time, okay. One more round through. These supersets fly, don't they? 3 bent over rows to a stand. All right, seated or standing. Your standing feet are under your hips. Here we go. We're gonna push the hips back, row. 2, 3, stand it up, squeeze the glutes. All right, so when we're rowing, we're thinking of the lats, the back muscles, and the back of the rib cage, and then squeeze and stand up. Trying to keep your neck in line with your spine. Nice straight line. We're almost done this one. We have 10 more seconds. 5, 2, and time. Okay, all done with those. Last round to our sit stand with our single leg balance, or you're going to give me the alternating leg press again, okay? So here we go in 3, 2, 1. My feet are about hip to shoulder width apart. The wider your hips are, I would say the wider you want your legs to be, okay? Nice and controlled. It's not about trying to rush through it. It's about feeling your muscles work. Pressing my heels into the floor, squeezing up and down. Up, down. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, excellent work, guys. Get a drink. That was our 3rd block. We have one more block to get through, our 9-minute block again. This one is more of our conditioning circuit here, okay? So expect to feel a little bit more breathy Okay, as we're working the heart here, our cardiovascular system, be mindful to take your breaks if you need a little bit of extra breaks. Nothing new here. One new move I introduced last week, but this will be the second time we're doing it. But our first one is our hands in front of the face here, jab, cross, hook, hook, okay? Kind of keep your knuckles up here, replicating how a boxer would be. They're protecting their face when they're boxing, right? So they always keep one glove up as a means to protect their face, okay? So instead of like maybe one being down here, right? When you're doing it, try to think of both of them staying up high. Okay, that looks the same standing. You just have a little bit more with you have just a little bit of a pivot when you're standing, okay? All right, so the next one is the one that we started last week, okay? And that is our back forward knee. Now, what we're gonna do for the seated variation on the edge of your chair is it looks slightly different because again, you can't replicate the pattern as you could standing, but we're gonna push back, knee, knee, push back, knee, knee, okay? And then for our standing one, it is more of a cognitive thing. So you gotta kind of think of your pattern. It is back. So I'm gonna start back, forward, knee, back, forward, knee, back, forward. Okay, so get those knee raises, more abdominal, more single leg. Okay, I told you we're hitting those abs hard today. Okay, and our final one looks the same seated or standing. I love this one, our rope pull. Okay, so think like you're ripping something down or you're pulling up the mast or you're raising the flag, but you're kind of doing it with a little gusto, okay? You've got some oomph behind it, okay? You're working the lats again, okay? That elbow comes back. I'm gonna show you from the side. See where my hand ends here, right? So I'm right here, okay? Think about when the end comes right to the hips. So I'm pulling that elbow back, okay? All right, final block. Expect to feel your heart rate and your body heat elevate even a little bit more than maybe it has throughout the workout. So just remember to adjust your time frame if you need to, okay? So here we go. We're starting with our jab, cross, hook. I'll be seated for round one. I'm kind of on the edge of my seat just so I have room to move around, okay? Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. It's knuckles up, jab, cross. Go at your own pace, okay? Mine seems too quick. Slow it down, okay? Whatever feels good for you. There's also a lot of coordination in this last block, which is again, good for our cognitive health. Exercise helps keep our memory sharp, especially when you're coordinating movements and you're connecting your mind to what the body's doing, telling muscle groups to engage. It all helps with memory. And time, okay? Ooh, okay, first one. Now we have our back, forward, knee. If you're seated, we're doing push back, knee raise. It looks slightly different, okay? All right, so I'll be seated for this first round. Here we go. Knee, knee. Knee, knee. And tailor this. You might want to do just as I do, 1 round seated and then 2 rounds standing, or 2 rounds seated, 1 round standing, or all rounds seated, or all rounds standing, okay? And not every week might feel the same. You know, some weeks might be easier to do a little more advanced options, while other weeks may not. Okay, good. Last one here. Rope pull, okay, nice and elongated through the spine. If you're standing, make sure you have that pelvic tuck to protect your lower back here. All right. Should feel maybe a little elevated here. Here we go. So we're working the back, we're working the underside, underneath the shoulder. Move at a pace that's comfortable for you. If my tempo is too fast, slow it down. Okay, that's okay. If you're trying to engage the back, or you're trying to feel those muscles work, okay? That mind-muscle connection I talked about. Woo! 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, shake it out. That's round 1. You can remain seated here, or you can move to standing with me if you're not already standing. Okay, so we're going back to our jab, cross, hook, hook. The only thing that kind of changes here from the standing is you get a little pivot on that leg. Okay, here we go. Knuckles up, jab, cross, jab, cross. Remember, you can control the tempo. If you need to slow it down, you can do that. If you need to speed it up, you can do that too. You're trying to challenge yourself without pushing it too far, okay? That sweet spot. It's okay to be a little uncomfortable, but you don't want pain, like acute pain. Our body's always talking to us. We just need to listen to it. Okay. Back, back, forward, knees. Remember, if you're seated, you're doing push back with the toe tap to a knee raise to knee raise. Otherwise, we're going to go back, back, forward, knee. Here we go. Back, back, forward. Look at all this single leg work we're doing today. Remember, it's your 45 seconds. If you need to stop early, start late, stop in the middle, get a drink, it's okay. You're here, you're moving, you're getting that blood flow. You're never going to walk away from the class and be like, I wish I wouldn't have done that, you know? Okay, so here we go. Rope pull, right? It's okay. I feel that that cardiovascular response. We're working our heart here, okay? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I'm standing now. I'm making sure I'm squeezing my glutes. I'm kind of in that pelvic tuck. That helps prevent my lower back from any discomfort. Go at your own pace. If mine is too quick, slow it down, okay? Five seconds. And it's time. Okay, woo, one more time. Then we're all done, okay? One more. 3 more minutes of work. Okay, so back to our jab, cross, hook, hook, seated or standing. All right, knuckles are up. Ready? Begin. Jab, cross, 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 and release. Okay, all done with those. Everything we're doing now is the last time, right? Back, back, forward, knee, or if you're seated, it's tap, toe tap back, knee raise, and knee raise from that seated position, okay? Otherwise, here we go. It's back, back, forward, knee, back, back, forward. This one's kind of fun to me.
It's like a step aerobic.
Yeah, like old step aerobics.
Yeah.
My mom's hiding here doing it. So she's working out in her PJs.
Yep.
Yeah, the old step classes. I used to love taking step aerobics. I wish it was more popular again. 10 more seconds. And time. Okay, final exercise, our rope pull. All right, one more. 45 seconds of work, and then we're just going to cool down and we are done. So if you're standing, just remember, just slightly tucking and squeezing the glutes to protect your lower back. I'll do it from the profile so you see what my elbow looks like coming back. Elbow back, down and back, down and back. Strengthening those back muscles. We really have balance and posture and core today. It was very much focused on those three things, which should definitely be a priority for us all. Almost there, guys. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and time. Relax. Okay. Woo, so that last circuit, right? Kind of trying to work the heart muscle there too. The important heart muscle there, right? So let's get a drink. We're going to cool down here. Okay, and we're just going to start with, I'm going to just stay seated for these. We're going to start with a neck and trap stretch. All right, so I'm just gently pulling on my head and pressing down and just feeling that release through the side of the neck area here and the upper trap muscles. Okay, your upper trap muscles are kind of like right here. Okay, just gently releasing there. Really just focusing on those inhales and exhales because we get fresh oxygen to our muscles, you know, when we take these deep breaths, okay? Make sure you drink your water, okay? Drinking your water helps not only keep us hydrated, but also helps flush out lactic acid, which is like metabolic waste in the muscles from training them, right? It produces, you know, it produces like a waste product, and water helps flush it out of our system. Same with our deep breathing, right? Helps us put new, fresh blood, oxygen-rich blood into those muscles. All right, from here, let's go ahead and we're going to lift our, let's go into a forward fold. So from a seated position, okay, you can take your feet wide here, and just where you feel comfortable, you're just forward folding. It's passive now. So you know how I'm always like, stay really straight through the spine when we hinge. Now it's just fold forward, round, relax. Feel your lower back, wherever that is for you. You don't have to go far down if you feel like you're going to topple out of the chair or anything like that. Just, it's passive now. You're just letting gravity pull you down here. You should feel a stretch through your lower back. Your shoulders are rounded. Your chin is tucked, okay? Very different from the muscle contraction exercises we did during the class, okay? You can always put your hands, if it feels like the weight of your hands is too heavy to be folded down, you can rest them on your knees, okay? You'll still feel that lower back stretch there, right? So our forward fold here. Now let's just gently bring it up, all right? And we're gonna pair a twist, all right? Just take a deep breath in case you feel a little lightheaded. Come up nice and slow from that. All right, so deep breath. Now we're gonna inhale, arc over, twist over, all right? And I'm looking over my back shoulder. My opposite hand is on the opposite leg there, twisting, nice spinal twist here. Same thing on the other side. We're going to inhale, arc it over with the arms, spinal twist. So opposite hand is on the opposite leg there. Looking over that shoulder, feel that deep stretch all the way from the neck through the thoracic spine there. Good, and back to center. And we'll do our figure 4 stretch for our glutes to finish off here. So we're gonna cross our leg over. Keep this foot flexed. That's gonna help protect your knee joint here. And you might find, and now we are elongated again through that spine, just a gentle lean forward. You're gonna feel that right through that glute. Okay, you don't have to go very far to feel this stretch out your glute and piriformis. Okay. Good. And then gently release out of that. We're going to switch sides. Okay, crossing the leg over, flexing the foot to help protect the knee joint. Okay, nice and tall. And it's not really that far of a range of movement to feel that glute working. Okay, so good. And then release, come back up, put the feet on the floor. We're going to inhale it up, palms together, exhale, palms to heart. One more time. Inhale, palms together, exhale down to heart. All right, guys, thanks for coming today.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.